Hello again, everyone. We want to bring you some breaking news. Ken Molesina here from the CBS News Dallas-Fort Worth studios. We need to update you on these wildfires that we have been covering the last couple of days and into today. Lipan Fire Department now says that they have issued a mandatory evacuation for the city due to wildfire danger in those areas. They have set up shelters now at Christian Church on Highway 377 by Tractor Supply, the Granbury United Methodist on Loop 567 also a location for shelters. Now here's a map we want to show you right now that gives you a better idea of where these fires are burning, and we are keeping a very close eye on them. Of course, you can see those red dots there on your screen. The ones out west are the Eastland Complex wildfires, and according to the Texas Wildfire Incident Response System, it has burned more than 50,000 acres now. Some new ones have popped up today just within the last couple of hours, and that's because of the high winds that we've been seeing. The big one, of course, the Kidd Fire, 25% contained. These have caused a lot of damage to several cities, including Carbon, Ranger, and Gorman. And the new one, the new fire that started earlier today is what is being called now the Big L Fire. It's between Bluffdale and Toller. It's burned 3,000 acres, and it is 0% contained. There's some video from Chopper 11 of that fire. Our Nick Starling is near this location. He's joining us live now via phone. Nick, can you hear me okay?
I can, Ken.
Bring us up to speed, Nick, if you will. Where exactly are you, and what's the latest? And you're near the Big L Fire, correct?
That is correct. I'm near Toller, where that town, as you mentioned, is in an evacuation order along with the town of Lipan, because this fire just keeps spreading, and it's very windy out right now and low humidity, which is just causing this fire to spread really fast. And right now it's just 0% contained. It's burned about 3,000 acres so far. And so you could just see the plume of smoke on my way here, just east of Weatherford, on my way to this fire. And so you could see the smoke for several miles away from here. And there's a lot of concern from members, obviously, of the communities, especially here in Hood County, where the community is really coming together. There's a volunteer fire department here, about 30 members. Almost all of them are out trying to fight this fire. Meanwhile, the firefighters' wives, husbands, family members are really coming together to gather bottles and supplies, because the conditions out here very hot, especially when you're trying to fight this wildfire here.
Yeah, Nick, and we're looking at some aerial video right now provided by Chopper 11 of the fires and the plumes of smoke that you were talking about. Nick, I'm curious because obviously the Eastland Complex fire, not too far down the road from where you are, that one has drawn in a lot of resources from throughout the state. And I know that you talked about the volunteer fire department there in Toller, all hands on deck down there, but are you seeing any reinforcements that may appear to be from across the state or from across the region? I'm just wondering if they've been able to send some folks from the Eastland Complex fire out your way. Are you seeing any of that, or are those folks down there just kind of handling this the best they can on their own?
Right now, best they can on their own right now. The volunteer fire departments are locally that I've seen so far. I've seen some from Granbury and some other surrounding communities, but nothing that's close to Eastland or far away. Even in Fort Worth or Dallas haven't been over here yet. So really, it's been a local effort from what I've seen in terms of the names I'm seeing on some of the brush trucks going through trying to fight this fire on the ground. Yeah,
and that's probably the best indicator when you start looking for those names on those trucks that are kind of zooming past you down there. Any idea how close these particular flames, and again, it's just one shot that we have up here, Nick, so help us out if you can. Any idea what communities, homes might be near this, or right now are we just talking open land that's burning?
Right now it looks like mostly open land. Driving around here, there's a lot of farmsteads and smaller communities like Lipan and some other ones like Bluffdale, which is really close to this fire. So these are towns that say maybe 500 to 1,000 folks in these smaller communities. And then once you go out of there, it's mostly ranches and farmsteads and longhorns I've seen, different farm animals, obviously. So this is an area of the state where there's a lot of open land, not a lot blocking the wind. So that really causes some concern with these firefighters, obviously.
Right, and we can see the live pictures right now as Chopper 11 zooms out now. And Nick, you know, you can't see the aerials, I know, not from where you are currently, but I can tell you from what we're seeing here, this thing is massive. It looks like it's crossed a couple of bluffs in that area. And you're right about those plumes of smoke. I mean, they're going really, really high up into the air there.
That's correct. And when I visit some of these smaller communities, like Taller, I just left there, and you're looking at people looking at the sky, obviously with concern, because they don't want to leave their belongings behind. A lot of them, they've been there their whole life. I talked to an 81-year-old firefighter. He's been there a while, and he's just a little sad that he doesn't know what the future may hold in the next few hours here, and hopefully that this fire can get somewhat of a containment on it, so that way these smaller communities will survive this wildfire. Yeah. Do you get the sense that, and we know, especially living here in Texas and knowing about, you know, our friends out west, especially out in some of the more rural areas, we know what they're made of. These are tough people. Do you get the sense, though, that they're starting to feel a little defeated, or are they standing pretty strong out there? Oh, they're standing very strong. Talking with some of the volunteers, they're very committed to helping one another. And it's really a neighbor helping neighbor situation out here. Yeah, and like you said, they're doing the best that they can right now. Hopefully they get the reinforcements that they need. But again, the situation with the wildfires, a pretty busy sort of weekend and last couple of days with so many fire crews trying to get a handle on this. Hey, Nick, we're going to let you do what you need to do. I know that you're working on your stories for later on in the newscast, so I'll say goodbye for now, but we will see you a little later on CBS 11 and CBS News Dallas Fort Worth. Thank you very much for the update. Please stay safe out there. Will do, Ken. All right, thanks, Nick. Want to also talk a little bit about the Eastland Complex fire, because again, that is the other one that is also burning. That's the big one, that 50,000 plus acres that have been burning out in Eastland County. And we want to go out to, I believe, Russell Showen, our photographer, is there on the scene. If we can get his live shot up there, we'll pop that up there for you here just as soon as we can, because this is also a big fire that we've been keeping a close eye on. Right now, this is still, I believe, the Big L fire, where we just heard Nick Starling reporting from. But these are some scenes now, I believe, coming in from the Eastland Complex fire, where it looks like some helicopters are doing some aerial drops. Currently, looks like some water buckets are being dropped in that area. Russell Showen is in Eastland County, as we told you, along Interstate 20. Russ, can you hear me okay? This is Ken.
Yes, sir, Ken. I can hear you just fine.
Hey, buddy. Thanks for getting the live shot up there right now. We're watching these helicopters kind of pass overhead. Give us a sense of what's going on from what you can see, Russ.
Ken, when I pulled up here, I would say, I hate to speculate, but I believe this was relatively small fire, about a half-mile wide, maybe. And they appear to have put it out for the most part. There's very little smoke. There's some hot spots. Now, it was moving extremely fast and low. As you can see, this is a wooded area, but the only thing that was really burning was the grass. The trees were not burning. It appears there's very little else was. So with the help of this big boy right here and then a couple of other helicopters, I'll move around. You could see there was also some brush trucks that went into the woods from over this direction. There were some heavy equipment, some bulldozers, and some road graders that went in. And again, there was a lot of smoke and flames when I first got here, but within 20 minutes, they appear to have put this out. And now just have the helicopters working, I think, the hot spots and the ground crews. If you've got a minute, I'll show you. I'll show you what they're dealing with. Look at the wind here is just incredible. It's hard to tell by that, but the wind is very steady and very strong. This is a ranch where not long ago the folks here were moving their hay. You do not want those hay bales to catch on fire. You will never get them out. So they moved them away from their barn and away from their house, which I believe was probably just strategically to get them away from the house. And then here's what the helicopter has to find places to get water. This pond here has more water than most. When I was driving out here, I noticed many of these stock ponds were almost dry, if not dry. and that's part of the problem as well. And you can probably hear the wind as well, Ken. So that's pretty much what I'm seeing: dry, windy, and smoky.
Yeah, and Russ, I was going to ask you about the wind, but you did such a great job of illustrating what you guys are up against out there. I did want to ask you something, because we had seen early on as these fires spread, and we know there's a lot of cattle and sort of wildlife out there. Have you seen any sort of displaced cattle at all, or animals just kind of roaming there, or how are the efforts to keep them safe?
I have not seen any, but I can tell you this, Ken. I've seen ranchers. You can tell they are working together. I've seen places where with ranchers pulling trucks in to drop hay off at places that have already burned, so it's safe to put their hay there. And I think other people are coming to get it if they need it. So, you know, ranchers and farmers, they work together. They do a good job. They know each other, and they're working together. I have not seen any displaced cattle or anything like that, though.
Okay. All right, Russ. Well, thank you very much for that live report. We certainly appreciate the pictures and the play-by-play that you're sending back. Please stay safe out there as well, and we will check in with you a little later on. That was Russell Schoen, CBS 11 photojournalist for us near the Eastland Complex fire. Folks, we're going to continue to bring you the latest updates on air and online at cbsdfw.com, and we're going to be streaming for you with CBS News Dallas Fort Worth. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.